You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
All right, my name's Raul, by the way. What's yours? Cody. Nice to meet you, man. Do you have some belief you want to identify, maybe, and I can ask you questions related to how you know that?
Religious belief?
Yeah, that's one example. It doesn't have to be, yeah, but do you hold to a certain religion?
Well, what kind of belief do you mean? Like,
It could be it's open field. It can be anything. I've talked to people about their belief in God, their belief in the paranormal. Some people believe in ghosts. Sometimes people have some kind of political claim that's near and dear to their hearts.
Okay.
So it's an open field, but just something that you're fairly certain of, something that is foundational to you.
That's such a broad question. We can just do religion.
Okay. What do you mean when you say religion? What specifically?
Christianity.
Christianity. If you had to put this in the form of like a one sentence claim, one sentence fact claim, what would it be?
One sentence.
Like, would it be God exists? Would it be Christianity is true? Would it? Okay. And why do you believe that? Why do you hold this belief that God exists?
Because everything that I've learned so far, there's so much going on, like in everything around us, like within like science and everything, that there's just too much going on for them not to be.
What do you mean when you say there's too much going on?
Like, I'm a biomedical science major, so like I've taken like cell biology and human physiology, for example. I mean, just a bunch of other classes too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much, like within enzyme pathways, or for example, like glycolysis or this citric acid cycle. I mean, that's just so much.
And what about this makes you think that there's a God?
Because it's like I don't. I guess it's not just like a coincidence that's not a coincidence that all that just happened out of nowhere.
Is it possible that it's not a coincidence, that there's some kind of natural explanation and it just doesn't happen to be God? That there is a reason for it, but it's natural reason?
What do you mean by natural reason?
Versus supernatural. Like there's some scientific explanation to these things that don't involve any
like
kind
the Big Bang?
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned biomedical pathways, glycolysis. Yeah, I guess the Big Bang would maybe be one, but it just seems like if for any like phenomenon in nature, like in the past, humans have tended to attribute those things to a god or a bunch of gods. But as we grew in knowledge, we realized, oh no, it's not Thor shooting lightning bolts out the sky. That's actually electromagnetism. And so I'm wondering, with all these various things you mentioned, is it possible that likewise that there's some natural explanation for them?
There's always a possibility,
Okay, so what makes you prefer the explanation of God exists as the explanation for these things versus some natural explanation for them?
Just because of all the experiences I've had in my life.
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell you one off the spot, but just everything seems to fall in line. But like just different experiences like that I've experienced throughout life. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I can't formulate a sense.
How do we determine whether something is due to God or it's due to some natural explanation? How do we tell the difference?
That's a good question. I like to think that, and this is just my belief,
Okay.
but I like to think that my destiny has already been set.
Okay.
By God, or a God, whatever.
And what does that have to do with God being the explanation of these various things you mentioned? This
Because
science.
he's the controller. Like, I mean, sure, we control our own free will, but I believe that, you know, you just have to work hard and be a good person, and things
Okay.
will work out for you.
Okay. I know you have to go, so maybe this can be the last question.
Mm-hmm.
What would, for you, what would convince you otherwise? What would decrease your level of certainty? What would it take to convince you that these various things did not have God as their explanation after all?
Factual evidence.
Actual evidence? Is that what you said?
Like, it's going to have to be 100% factual evidence.
Oh, factual evidence.
Yep.
Okay, can I ask a follow-up question to that real quick?
Sure.
Do you have that for your currently held belief? If you would require factual evidence to prove that these things had some natural explanation, do you have factual evidence that they're actually due to some supernatural explanation?
Do I have factual evidence? No. But
Okay.
I mean, it's better to believe in something than nothing.
Okay. All right, Cody, I appreciate your time, man.
For sure, man.
Thanks a lot.